the late President Forbes, Lyndon Sampson Burnham, has been a disaster and an embarrassment to Guyana and black people. I think that his whole problem lies in his early experiences with his parents. Now, he said he was poor, but his father was a principal in a certain religious school, and that means that you can't be poor. That would be middle class. He was the only boy in the family, and he was homeschooled up to about 11 years. And I think that is the crux of his whole disastrous life. Because in homeschooling, it's centered around that student. And you get a lot more done because you could schedule things the way it works for you. You could have the variety. You could go on the beach, you could go here, you could go there. And a lot of times they have so much time that they could read a lot and they could formulate and fashion some peculiar ideas that aren't tested. You know, it's all about them. And the teacher is going to be encouraging them and say, that's good. The parents, that's good, that's wonderful. My son is a bright guy. I like that idea. Give me some more of that. But if you were in school, the students would tell them, hey, that's stupid. That's why I don't hush him out, man. You're talking such crap. But, you know, at home, they tell him, oh, he's good. So his ideas aren't tested. He hasn't the opportunity to compare himself with others. And he thinks that he's the best. Well, Burnham ended up being the best because he came first that year. He scored the highest, and he got maybe the highest scholarship for that year. And he went off to London to study law. But I think at 11, he went to high school. He skipped elementary school and all that. But of course, he did the work at home. And perhaps in those 11 years, he might have done much more than what an 11-year-old ought to do. He might have finished the whole of high school. So that when he went to high school, now he's going it over again. And, you know, in a way like that, he would show as if he's brilliant. He knows everything because he has covered the whole high school curriculum. And the parents and him could have had that plan to cover it, finish elementary school even earlier, go to high school maybe twice. So when he went to high school, it's the third time he's doing the work. And so, you know, he was able to score the highest and got the scholarship. But as he went into the politics, he had certain setbacks, and he had certain problems that are endemic with people who are kind of like weird and kind of moronic. You know, when you look at his face and you listen to his speech, you could think that he had a mental problem, like he was kind of like borderline, kind of like Down syndrome or moron or something. Now, how can you borderline moron and be top in the school and go to London and graduate and all this stuff? Well, that's what happened. And I mean, if he had sense, you see, he just specialized in whatever it took to get into law. And in a way like that, he doesn't have the breadth. He didn't do psychology. He didn't do a lot of history. He didn't do sociology. He didn't do economics, accounting. He didn't do those things that could have helped him to fashion some more reliable and valid concepts. So look how he's stupid. He's going to embrace the Soviet Union, Cuba, and Eastern Bloc, and China, and come up with this cooperative socialist republic, the only one in the world, first. And knowing that Britain, who is the owner of Guyana and the colonial master, and America, who is the superpower and the dominant superpower in the region, will not tolerate that kind of maneuver. Then he went ahead and he nationalized Canada's and Americans' interests and so forth, and not realizing that where he's going to find the market. You know, I mean, they're not going to buy it, so that business is going to die. Or if it's something that they absolutely need, they will only buy what is necessary, and they will try to see if they can find a sort of alternative supplier. When you had, of course, is the bauxite company, you had Jamaica bauxite, and maybe the other parts of the world that had bauxite, and they maybe got more of the sales than him. So that the things he did don't seem to recommend him as being an intelligent man. I mean, why would you be a socialist? Why would you take into voodoo? He declared Guyana kind of like a voodoo nation. This is voodoo here. They don't call it voodoo in Guyana, they call it Obia. Alright, this is Obia city, or Obia place, and establishing monuments to voodoo and so on. And that was Haiti's problem. If you're evil and you're self-opinionated, because growing up and being self-taught at home and so forth, his ideas were the only ones that was on the table. And so for the first time, he's realizing that there are others in the room, and other people have important ideas just as his, or they might even be better because they have more experience. All right, they have a different educational experience, that he has to deal with it. And defeat was bad, he couldn't take it, and then of course he became so paranoid that he will follow any opposition to the hilt and kill them just to succeed. He was ruthless, and I think that came out of his childhood, in which he had his own way, and what he thought was it, and his parents pampered him and so forth. So that's the way he went up into politics. And so I'll conclude that anybody who in America here, there's a young girl who is the vanguard for homeschooling, and she's been applied to all the top schools, and she's been accepted by all. And the parents going, no, as on a campaign, on a crusade, saying this is the way to do it. But I mean, it's stupid, because you need to be in the public school, because the government is spending money in areas that they want. They're directing the economy, and education is not an entity in itself. It supplies the workforce and so forth, and you need to be in the program so that you could get, well, parents are going to find where it's going and take it there. But the competition and challenge in school, dealing with the bully, dealing with ridicule, dealing with the insult, being able to handle people and so forth, those skills they don't have. And these early geniuses normally fade out later on, because we're discovering that children who are sort of smart early and adults, they're dumb, because it's a different game. It's not about getting rewards and compliments. It's about, I'm doing this because it has to be done, and because it's my job, and because I'm going to have to love it and learn it. You know what I mean? So this Burnham guy was a disaster. The country and the